I'm Joe.
I'm Lauren.
And I'm Alex.
And this is Tales from Godric's Hollow. Hey everyone, and Happy New Year. Welcome to episode 376 of Tales from Godric's Hollow, your one-stop shop for all things magical in the wizarding world of Harry Potter. I am Joe, the Dean of Tales from Godric's Hollow, and I'm joined here by my co-hosts, both Lauren and Alex. Welcome in.
Howdy, y'all.
Hello.
What is up? Happy New Year. It's been another 2 weeks since we've seen each other.
Right?
And what a 2 weeks it's been.
I was going to say, and yet it hasn't felt like 2 weeks.
No, it's gone by really fast.
So ridiculously fast. We had Christmas, we had New Year's. How did everyone's holidays go? Anything fun, exciting? Any new gifts?
I mean, it was actually pretty tame. We went and saw family. Both of our families live in the Houston area, so we were able to do family things and get that done. We did go to a bowl game. We went to the Texas Bowl and watched our Aggies unfortunately lose. But it
But
was
are we
fun.
surprised?
No.
They've only had a new coach for what, a month?
Well, he's not even coaching yet. Like,
So what motivation do the players have at this point? I mean, really?
Well, and it's also not a great look when your third string quarterback goes down the first play of the game with a broken arm and then can't play anymore. And so we're on to the walk-on fourth string quarterback because that's all we have left. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It was rough.
That transfer portal. Let me tell you.
It's rough.
Alex, how about you? Anything fun, exciting?
Yeah, nothing crazy. Just a lot of time with family, some friends. Christmas Eve was rough because I had an allergy attack. And so I was just like, wow, like for church and dinner and stuff. Really not fun. But thankfully I was better for Christmas. And then the next few days was kind of like up and down. So just a lot of blowing noses and washing hands. What else are you gonna do? But
a lot of sickness going around right now.
Yeah.
In New York as well, not just over there. I just feel like it's all around me. Stay away.
Yeah, I mean, I feel not too bad because mine is just allergies, so I'm not like contagious. I'm not worried about getting other people sick, but I am conscious of like making disgusting noises all the time and just having stuff coming out of my nose. And my daughter too, she inherited it from me. She has terrible allergies, so I'm just wiping her nose all the time, blowing my nose all the time. It's not pretty, but I don't know. It was a nice break.
Well, I'm glad you're not dealing with all of that right now here on this show.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time, but no, not tonight,
correct.
Thankfully.
Thankfully, we're live in front of the people. Gotta give them a show. I too had a very busy, chaotic holiday season. Lots of Potter gifts went out to my nieces and nephews. It was a grand old time, but mix in there, we're moving my grandma into a nursing home. That whole thing was just chaotic and a whirlwind of an experience. But I do have one funny story I'd like to share. I was taking down my little Charlie Brown Christmas tree I had up in my room here, and I had these mini Harry Potter, I guess they're mystery ornaments. I got them at the $5 store, Five Below, and there was Voldemort on the tree. and she's still learning all the characters. And she called the Voldemort Mad Booty. What? Like, where did you get that name from? Mad Booty. Like, is that Mad Booty? I'm like, no, where did you? I'm like, and I have these visuals going on in my creative brain of just like Voldemort twerking up a storm or something. Just like, it was, it was like, why would she call him Mad Booty? I don't understand. So she's like, Mad Booty, Mad Booty. I'm like, who are you talking about? So she goes over to my Funko figures that I have over here. This guy. And she's pointing to Mad Eye Moody. She got Mad Eye Moody mixed up with Voldemort. And then just completely whiffed on the name, calling him Mad Booty.
Butchered the name.
Yes. So that was, I got a lot of laughs out of that, let me say.
That's awesome. Mad Booty. I
Mad
think
Booty.
that's Mad Eye Moody's new name. Mad Booty.
I'm going to start calling Voldemort that now. Shoot. Forget Mad Eye.
That'll work too.
Well, we do want to welcome everyone into this live show we are doing. This is our first show of the year. We are currently streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and supposedly X. X should be up as well. We wanted to go live on Instagram too, but there were some limitations with how many places that we can stream, and Instagram would only let us stream for an hour before it cuts our feed. So just like, that doesn't really bode well for that. And I was just like, let me go with X over Instagram. That way the feed will always stay up on X. And then the Instagram people could just follow at one of our other socials. So that's where we're streaming live. We're thankful that you're here with us. We got a fun show ahead for you guys today. We are covering a fan casting. Yes, we will be the ones casting the new Harry Potter TV series. This is the big announcement that came last year for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter that we're all excited about to see what is happening with. And we're going to have a little fun on this show trying to cast the adult characters anyway of this series. The children, we don't really know any British child actors. We're Americans. We don't have access to all the things in the BBC and British media. Like, we just don't know that many actors and actresses. And to be honest, I think our lists are probably going to be a little limited as well, but we'll get to that in a few short moments here. We will also be doing our normal segments that we do. We got a Muggle poll to get to the results too. We do have a Boss and Gamut. As you can see, the boss is with me right over my finger here in spirit. Yes. We have a Potter Watch to get to, a little bit of news, and we got your emails as well. But before we jump into our fan casting, I do want to go over our December giveaway. We were going to give away the interactive magical Dobby. And we do all of our giveaways over on Patreon at patreon.com/Tales from Godric's Hollow. If you are supporting us at any tier, you're automatically entered in to win our monthly giveaways. So I chose a winner before we got rolling here tonight. And the winner for this interactive magical Dobby is... there it is. Carol! Congratulations,
Yay.
Carol! You
Yay,
are the
Carol!
winner. I will get your address once again and ship this bad boy off to you. It is a fun little thing to add to your Potter collection. And I want to know how interactive this thing is. So please email in once you get this thing. I'm excited to hear about it. Now, we will be having a January giveaway. We don't have anything right now scheduled for it. We'll announce it next week when we do our next episode. But again, to get in on the giveaways, All you got to do is support us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month, patreon.com/Tales from Godric's Hollow, and you are in. Now we can jump into our main topic of discussion here. We are fan casting the new Harry Potter TV series, and we're doing so with all of you. So make sure you're interacting with us. Send us your comments, whether you hate our choices or who you would pick for each of these characters. I had fun coming up with this list. I knew this episode was coming for I think a little over a month now. We had this on the docket. We had heard last year that they were going to start casting the new TV series in the beginning of the year. So we wanted to get this show out there before any castings became official. We wanted to be on record with everything that we say and what we're doing here.
We want to be right.
That too. Yes. We always want to be right. So this is going to be fun to see if we get any of these properly done. So again, feel free to share who you'd cast for each of the characters that we are going to be going over here. And again, it's mostly the adults in the series, not so much the children, although Alex supposedly has a million castings for these characters here on this show. So we'll see what we actually get to here. So if everyone is ready, I'm going to move us into position like magic. Whoosh. And the first character we're going to be talking about is Dumbledore. I think he's one of the main characters. I would say probably top 3 characters in the series overall as a whole. Maybe that should be a top 5. Who's the most important characters in the series?
Most important characters in Harry Potter, not including Harry Potter. Can we just take him out of that?
Yes, nobody ever picks Harry for anything. So we're gonna get going, and I'll start. Now, here's how we kind of set this up. We each were coming up with at least one, if not a few names that we're going to kind of throw around and talk about here for these characters. So I will start with my first one for Dumbledore, and I have 2, but I want to start with this guy right here. He is the current Dumbledore. He is Jude Law. I feel like this would be a great way to kind of tie in Fantastic Beasts with the new Harry Potter stuff. You have one character doing everything. When they eventually get back to Fantastic Beasts, they can have him young. When they do all the flashbacks, they can have him young. They can old him up as much as possible with makeup. He's obviously still young enough to where we don't have to worry about him potentially passing away, fingers crossed. So I think all these things are good things. And I thought he did a great job as well. It would be a way to kind of make everything the same as far as like the Fantastic Beasts and the new stuff. All the new stuff they're doing have one Dumbledore for that. So that's part of the reason why I chose Jude Law. Keep everything uniform. How do you guys feel about that?
I wouldn't hate this pick. You make a lot of good points. I do think that he is much more suited for the Fantastic Beasts version of Dumbledore. He has that youthful energy, a little bit of fire. That the older Dumbledore, I mean, he definitely has those moments, but for the most part, I think of him much more as like mysterious and kind of kooky and whimsical. And not to say that Jude Law couldn't do that, but I don't think that's not what I think of when I see Jude Law.
Have you watched The Holiday yet, Alex?
No.
Alex, you promised.
You did promise.
I said it was on the list. I never got around to it.
On the list for next year.
then you don't know whimsical Jude Law because you don't know Mr. Napkin Head. And Mr. Napkin Head is extremely whimsical.
Okay.
But I did consider this as well, and then I eventually I didn't write his name down, but I don't hate it. I thought about it. I figured I would love for him to be part of the show, but maybe just in flashbacks, and then a normal Dumbledore for everything else.
Mm-hmm. So I did have an alternate if we weren't going the Jude Law route. And my second choice would be Hugh Laurie.
Hmm.
He has the whim. What I did not know about him, because I know him from House,
Right.
and I haven't really even seen an episode of House, but I know it's a drama, and I know it did very well. I know he's a great actor. But I went back to looking up. Really, it was Stephen Fry,
Hmm.
who also played a version of Dumbledore through the Audible books. Who I guess technically you could throw in the mix here too. You might be a little bit heftier of a Dumbledore than what we're used to, but there was I think it was a BBC comedy show with Laurie and Fry.
Yeah, a bit of Brian Laurie. Classic comedy. So good.
So Hugh Laurie, he has that comedy, that whims. I think he could pull that stuff off great, as well as the more dramatic parts, which he's gotten into in these later years now. So he was going to be my second choice for potential Dumbledore here.
Yeah, again, you make good points. I am not going to agree with this one even more. Personally, I was a huge fan of House when it was on, and I can't look at Hugh Laurie and not see House. Like there's just that's all I see. So I couldn't like take him seriously as Dumbledore. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I like it. I also think I would lean more Jude Law out of those two picks. I would go more the Jude Law route than this route. I did watch a few episodes of House, and so I agree a little bit with Alex. It's hard to see him as something else.
I
But
can imagine, yeah.
I mean, you put a beard on him and long hair though, and he's not gonna like you put a big white beard, and he's not gonna look like himself really.
Yeah.
So there is that.
All right, so
I have someone else.
Okay.
And honestly, like at first it was kind of hard to find someone for Dumbledore, and then Liam Neeson. Okay, I'll just do that so that Joe can get the picture up. I like Liam Neeson a lot, and he's done a lot of different things. And the more like, and to be completely honest, my husband helped me make this list because I'm really bad with actors, just really, really bad. And the more we talked about it, the more we liked it because it was like, okay, so he's done some serious things. He's done like Love Actually. He was Aslan's voice in Narnia, and he was in Kingdom of Heaven. He's just done so many things that I'm like, I wonder what he could bring to the table for Dumbledore and what his particular expertise would bring to the character.
I actually thought of Liam Neeson as well. My only issue with him is he's kind of up there in age, and I'd get nervous. I get nervous casting someone.
I thought about that.
I feel like that's like ageist or whatever, but knowing that this series is going to take like a decade to film, I think you have to keep that in mind.
No, I agree with you. And it made me nervous too. But the more I thought about it, the more I just was like, well, how can we keep him healthy? Let's just get him on a really good exercise program and keep him healthy for 10 years so he can finish the series.
I have a very particular set of skills, Voldemort.
Yes.
Yeah, I also considered Liam Neeson for this role. Actually had him written down at one point, but then I thought of someone else that I liked him better for, so I moved his name around. But yeah, I could totally see this. I think it would work really well. I want to point out Liam Neeson is 71 years young. So,
Mm-hmm.
That's not crazy old. And you have to pick someone who's got, some years on them to really like fulfill the role. I will
No, you
give an
don't.
exception to Jude Law. Like they can make that work because he's already established as the character. I will give that a pass. Anyone else, like you have to get someone who is a little bit more mature.
Yes, I agree.
All right, Alex, who was your pick or picks?
So I have 3 for Dumbledore. The first one is Sir Anthony Hopkins, who has been a ton of things, but like I gravitated towards him because of his role as Odin in the MCU, the Thor movies. He has that regalness, very authoritative. I feel like he could do some funny stuff too. I think I've seen him do at least one kind of humorous role. So I'm sure he could do that. But yeah, I think he's just a great actor. I mean, to be honest, I have tremendous respect for every actor I put on this list. It was really hard for me to like say I want this person for this role because I think they would be great in multiple different roles. I would not be upset about him being cast as like a number of different people, but I chose him for this one.
I would have a hard time disassociating him from Hannibal, and then to have him as Dumbledore overseeing Harry and the Wizarding World like that, that to me would mess me up a little bit.
Well, some people might think that was a little bit more true to Dumbledore's character.
You're not right. Shout out Paola. All right, who else you got, Alex?
So my second one is a little controversial,
Okay.
but I really like it. It's Jeffrey Rush, who played Captain Barbossa in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Now, this is controversial, like I said, because he is not British. He's Australian. I don't know how that would fly with people, and I don't know how his British accent is.
I don't have all British actors. I'm going to just be completely honest. I do have a few other nationalities in my lists. So,
yeah,
how dare you?
I tried to
Sorry.
stick to all UK people as much as possible.
I did too.
But I did deviate from that a couple times, and this was one of the main ones. So I chose Jeffrey Rush mostly because of, as I talked about sometime last year, I did watch The King's Speech again. He is the guy who is doing the speech therapy with Prince, whatever his name is. I don't know. I don't care.
Prince Colin Firth.
Yes. And so like I feel like he has the look of Dumbledore. He can do like the mentor type role. In Pirates of the Caribbean, he's excessively fierce. So he can bring the aggressive nature of Dumbledore when it calls for it. I think this would be like really perfect. I just don't know how it would go over with the fandom of casting a non-British actor in such a prominent role.
Well, I think they'll probably deviate a little bit more from the norm with this TV show and get a little bit more inclusive with many different areas of the Wizarding World.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at this picture, he kind of looks like Michael Gambon a little bit. Like he looks Gambonish in a way. And
yeah, I was gonna say I really like his face for Dumbledore. Like he has just ever so slightly a few wrinkles here and there that just make him look, I don't know, grandfatherly. But at the same time, like you said, Alex, kind of fierce. He doesn't look weak, which we don't want from our Dumbledore.
Yeah.
So I like this. I like this a lot.
And then the last person I wanted to nominate is Sean Bean, who we all
Ah.
know from Game of Thrones as Ned Stark. I love Sean Bean. I want to see him in more things, and I feel like he could do the Dumbledore role extremely well. So I wanted to throw his name in the mix too.
I like Sean Bean too. I guess I haven't seen a recent picture of him, so I'm
Yeah,
waiting for
and
Joe
I
to
don't think,
throw
I
it
don't
up
know if this
here.
is the recent one either. This
Um,
more looks like more Lord of the Rings Sean Bean than
yeah, he just always looks so young to me, I guess. Like, I know he's not super young, but
See, Sean Bean is 64.
oh, he's perfect age. Yeah, that would be perfect. I like it. And then he could actually go to the end of a series and not die in the first.
which is always most important.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, you know, might
There's- okay,
actually have a
I'm seeing-
10-year.
I'm seeing older photos of him. He looks very rugged. I don't know if I like my Dumbledore rugged. That might
see
just be me.
Dumbledore being a little rugged. I don't know. I think my favorite is, who was your second one? I don't know names. Alex, who was your second one?
Jeffrey Rush.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite one.
Lauren, keep a running list.
Jeffrey Rush. Gotcha.
If I haven't given you enough tasks tonight so far.
All the tasks. It's perfectly fine. No worries.
You got this, Lauren. I believe in you. So we will.
I'm gonna misspell everyone's name, and we're gonna have to look it up later.
We'll fix it at the end. It's totally fine. We're gonna jump to Voldemort now. He's our big bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
He does a lot throughout this series, so you need someone who's got big bad guy presence. And I believe I have picked the proper person for this. And I'm not the only one to have fan casted him as Voldemort. A lot of people have been clamoring for him, but Mr. Cillian Murphy. He's got
that
bad guy look. You know he could do that. He's obviously coming off of Oppenheimer would be a huge get.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is something he would be interested in doing, though.
Yeah.
Because it is a very different kind of genre, I guess, for him. I guess it would almost be similar to Richard Harris, though. Coming over. Wonder if he has any kids or grandkids that could manipulate him to join the cast.
I know he does have kids, so maybe, I don't know. This is a very Voldemort-y looking picture you chose of him.
Yeah. Yeah, with his like shallow cheeks.
I mean, I've tried to find pictures that kind of fit the bill for the choices here.
Oh, so you're manipulating the outcome.
No, I'm doing the same for
The
you.
vote.
The problem is I don't know your list, so I have to do it in a matter of seconds. I had all day to get these photos. So yes, Cillian Murphy.
I like that a lot, and I think with Voldemort, one of the things is like it needs to be someone that is going to, like, the first time we see Voldemort is either going to be killing Harry's parents or we're going to see him on the back of Quirrell's head. Like, that's the first glimpses. unless they do a lot of flashbacks other than those 2 moments. But then eventually the cauldron and everything, like Voldemort looks different throughout the series. And I think he would be pretty good versatile wise to change up his look a little bit depending on what stage Voldemort is in his not transformation, but kind of from Tom Riddle to Voldemort.
Yep.
Yeah, Killian Murphy, I definitely see it. I didn't write it down, but I did see it other places online. I could totally, I would love that pick.
My other option here is an actor named Ed Skrein. He's got the eyes and got the look. I saw that comment for Joe Walker to reprise his role from a Harry Potter musical. Very nice. I don't know if he's on their radar. But there's a new movie, and it's going to be a series of movies out right now on Netflix, Rebel Moon, and he plays a bad guy in that. So
Yeah.
between that and his look, he's also in Game of Thrones as well. He's got long hair in Game of Thrones, though. But his look is very striking, and I always feel like Voldemort's look would have that about him. He's got one of those looks where like he doesn't look like a normal, like he looks like there's something weird about him.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, is there something weird about Ed Skrein? No, it's just his look is very striking with his eyes. That's the only way I can really kind of put it.
Yeah. Did you watch Rebel Moon?
I did.
Okay. I mean, we can have a whole nother conversation about how that movie is, but I do remember seeing. I mean, I fell asleep during that movie. That's how I feel
Ringing
about
endorsement.
it. But what I will say is his character is the only character that I found absolutely at all interesting in this movie. He rocked it. Like it was good. So I could see that too.
And then I have one final one here that I'll get to, and I think he crushed his role in another fantasy series, Shadow and Bone, and that is Ben Barnes. I thought he played the bad guy very well in that
He's
one.
really
And
pretty. Is he too pretty for Voldemort?
I mean, he's gonna just picture him with no nose, and he looks worse. So
Sorry, you also picked a picture of him that's just a really pretty picture to show me.
No, he's definitely a very good looking man. I saw his name get thrown around for like a lot of different roles when I was doing some research, and I did put him on my list for another character we're gonna get to later. But I guess I could see him for Voldemort.
cool. Who do you guys have?
I think he's too young. He looks too young. I don't know.
He was Prince Caspian, Lauren. That's probably
Yes,
what
he
you're going
was.
from, yeah.
That's probably why I think he's too young, because that's who I keep seeing in my head. I'm like,
Well, those movies
Voldemort's
came
much
out.
older than that.
Those movies came out like 15 years ago.
Shut up! Don't tell me that. Aging myself. All right. I have only one person. Actually, for most of these, I only have one person. So, I had Benedict Cumberbatch for Voldemort. And specifically, I really like him as Doctor Strange in all the Marvel movies. I think he shows some very interesting versatility there, but in my head, I was picturing his voice from Smaug in the Hobbit series because he does Smaug the dragon, and I was picturing that in terms of hearing it's so creepy, and he does such a really, really good job with it. And I just saw or heard Voldemort from that.
He does voices very well.
Mhm.
He's and he has that like very narrow face too. So
Yeah, without a nose, he kind of looks like a snake.
yeah, he would. And I mean he's done dragon voice, so he could make it a little serpentine and do the parcel tongue and all that.
Yeah, he
I
also
could see
had
him.
a great villain role in Star Trek Into Darkness as Khan. So
Yes.
he can do bad for sure.
I don't hate it.
Cool. That's my pick.
All right, so I have two choices. The first one that I wrote down is Christopher Eccleston. He's not like super popular. He's mostly done kind of like character roles. He was the bad guy in Thor: The Dark World, which is one of the worst Marvel movies, so we don't need to dwell on that, but he was bad in that one. But his most famous role is definitely as the Ninth Doctor in Doctor Who when they rebooted it from like the old series, whatever, and they brought it into like modern times. That's who they went with as their protagonist. So he's definitely versatile as an actor. I think he could pull off being Voldemort, and I don't know. I just really like him. Nope, that is not him.
It's not him?
I don't. Oh, maybe it is. Oh gosh, he looks awful.
I was gonna say he does look creepy.
I'm like, I mean, the name's a little weird. How many of these people are there?
But no, I guess that is him. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Um, moving on. My second pick, and
Even Alex is like, I don't know if I like this pick anymore.
well, I was gonna say even before you showed me that picture, I think my stronger pick is Hugo Weaving. Obviously, one of the most iconic villains of all time, Agent Smith in the Matrix trilogy. Just so menacing and just creepy and powerful. And he's done, so many other roles. Also, Red Skull from the first Captain America movie, another great villain. But then also Elrond in the Lord of the Rings movies. So he's all over the place. He's great. He's creepy. I think this would be an amazing casting if they were able to talk him into it.
He's been a part of a lot of big series,
Yeah.
sci-fi, fantasy. Because I want to say he was in another one too. I'm forgetting the name of it off the top of my head right now. And he played the main antagonist. But I agree. He would be that heavy hitter type of actor that you would want to get to play Voldemort. So I definitely wouldn't have a problem if he were cast. All right.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of good choices for Voldemort now, and I don't know what I like the best, to be honest.
Well, I suppose we don't have to land on one.
Well, that's no fun.
All right. Well, then my pick would be Cillian Murphy. I still think.
Yeah, I really like that, and he's really good. I like him. I would go with him too, I think.
Yeah, I like that pick too. I think personally I would pick Hugo Weaving over Cillian Murphy, but I think Cillian Murphy would crush it. So we can go with that one.
There we go.
All
All right. Up next, we're going to go to Professor McGonagall. Let's get the women in there. So I have a few choices here for McGonagall. The first one, and I'm sticking with the Lord of the Rings series because again, I'm an American limited on my British actors and actresses. And I went with Miranda Otto, who played Eowyn. She's older now. I think she's kind of got that McGonagall look to her. And watching the Lord of the Rings movies, she definitely kicked major butt in that movie. So I feel like she would definitely be able to put that on for McGonagall as well. Because we know how badass McGonagall is. But I like that choice there. I have another option here as well. And this is someone that she was in Game of Thrones, but she's also in the Loki series. And that's really where I guess she stood out to me in. And this is an actress named Kate Dickie. And there was just something about her that made me think that she can play McGonagall very well. Again, I was looking at over the past month and a half or so when I knew this episode was coming up, every English, British actor, actress, I was watching them and I was like, could either of these people play any character in the series? And when I got to her, I was just like, I think she could pull off McGonagall pretty well. So I liked that choice. And then this one, my final one here, a little bit out of the box from, I guess, the norm of what you would expect. And this is Michelle Yeoh. Definitely something different. But I think she's just really great. She's been in a bunch of really good stuff recently that she's just crushed. And I feel like she can do that McGonagall very well with her, like very serious, but also like very fun at times. Like that dichotomy of character, I think she could pull off both. So those are my three choices that I had picked up for McGonagall.
Yeah, I think all three of those are really strong picks.
Yeah, I agree.
Now I just want to hear them read. Let's bring them all in.
Right.
Each one of you say, "Have a biscuit, Potter." Go.
Exactly. That's the line we need. All right. Well, I only have one. So I have Helen Mirren from and where I know her from is the Fast and Furious saga. Sorry, I know she's done a lot more. When I looked up her IMDb, I was like, whoa, she is incredible. And I think this is one of those characters I really struggled with because I mean, who's gonna replace Maggie Smith? I just don't know how. But I really like Helen Mirren. I think she can do the role really well. I think she has enough gumption and strength to pull off of McGonagall, but I think she can also pull off that sternness and a little bit of fun. So
Kate says here in the chat, Kate Blanchett. I don't know if I'm spoiling any of Alex's picks, but
no, I did not choose Kate Blanchett, but That could work. I think I did consider her for maybe something else, but I didn't put her for anything because she is American.
Helen also did the trivia thing on
Yes.
HBO for
Yeah.
Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also wrote down Helen Mirren for this role. I think she would be
Oh, wow.
fantastic. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add. I think that would be great. The other, well, I have three more that I'll just go over really quickly. The first one I had mentioned several weeks ago. I forget when it was, but my dream choice for this would be Julie Andrews, who played Mary Poppins. That would just like be like a childhood like kind of dream come true almost, I think.
Yeah.
Just to see Mary Poppins at Hogwarts would be just kind of like awesome. But
Fantastic.
Yeah, no,
Magical.
that
Wonderful.
like a spoonful of sugar.
Ooh, could she be Poppy? We'll just make her be
there you go.
something.
Yeah.
She's so gorgeous. I love her.
Yeah. I didn't actually write her down because I think she's probably a little bit too old. I don't think she's doing too much acting anymore, which is fine. You know, she's definitely earned her retirement. But if they could make that work somehow, that would be incredible. The next choice that I have is Judi Dench. I don't think I would cast her realistically again for her age. I looked it up. She's turning 90 years old this year.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Yeah, but
yeah, that would be tough.
she still looks like really good for her age. So I don't know if she would be interested in doing that or not. But she has like the sternness that McGonagall has. So I
Yeah,
could
she's
totally see that.
wonderful.
And then the last name that I will mention is Michelle Fairley, who played Lady Stark in Game of Thrones and also Mrs. Granger in the Harry Potter movies. So that would be kind of a little weird, but she's in it for like all of 5 seconds, I think. So
Right.
I don't think anyone would really care. I did see this on like Reddit or something. People were saying this would be a good choice, and I think realistically they have a much better chance of getting her for the role over Helen Mirren. I think Helen Mirren might be too big of a name, so we'll see. But yeah, I think Michelle Fairley would be a great choice too.
I haven't seen much of anything else that she's been in, so it's kind of hard for me to, I guess, put my finger on if I feel she could pull off all of the McGonagall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. To be honest, I had a much harder time casting female roles than I did male roles. I just feel like there are a lot more prominent male British actors than British actresses. So I felt a little bit limited in that sense. McGonagall was a little bit easier because you know I think Helen Mirren and Judi Dench just like really jumped out at me as great choices. And they're so well known and respected as for their acting abilities. But yeah,
all right. So who do we want to land on from all these choices here?
I mean, I'm still on Helen Mirren.
yeah. I mean, we
If I
both
have my dream casting.
two of us had her down, so I feel like that kind of has to be it.
All right, Helen Mirren it is. All right, we are going to jump to another major player in this series, Mr. Severus Snape. And how can you talk about Severus Snape and fan casting without talking about this guy,
Yeah, I mean that's who I have too. So
Mr.
let's just
Adam
click it.
Driver. So yes, I guess I mean this is the obvious because he's got the look. He looks so much like what Snape would look like, very similar to Alan Rickman. He's very tall, like he just fits what you know about Snape so well. He's already played in a major fantasy series already, so he kind of understands that. I think if he wanted it, he could probably get it. My own, I guess, trepidation would be his accent
Yeah.
because he is American. Can he pull off an accent, or do they even care?
I'm pretty sure they would care. I'm pretty sure I would care.
I mean, he's got to be able to do an accent. I mean,
not everyone can. Not everyone can
no,
pull it
not
off
everyone
really well.
can. But I mean, yes, obviously this was the obvious choice for Snape for me as well. But one of the roles, I don't know if y'all have y'all seen The Last Duel that he did?
Mm-mm.
No, I know exactly the movie it is. It was on
It's
my watch list. Just never got to it.
I recommend it, but it's a one-time watch. It is not a movie that you would want to rewatch multiple times. I saw it in theaters, and it's heavy. It's a great movie. It's really good, but it's a heavy movie. The themes of it are very, very heavy, and he does amazing in it. It's very, and I don't want to give spoilers away, but that was yes, Kylo Ren and all the other things that he does too, I think point to Snape, but that was the role that kind of sold me on him being Snape, was his role in The Last Duel. So highly recommend seeing that movie one time and then just being done.
Alex, was Adam Driver also on your list, or
Yes,
no?
he is. He is my second choice.
Second choice. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, he
I-
for
I-
sure has the look.
Yeah.
There's no arguing.
So I have two other people on my list for Snape, and not gonna lie, I don't know much about these other two people. I was just searching for British actors like under 40, and I'm just like looking for like their resume a little bit. So I have two names here that I can potentially, I guess, see as someone who could get a look. First one being an actor named Josh O'Connor. So he was nominated for some awards, and again, I'm American. I don't know what the British awards are for some of the things that he has done. But he was best known for God's Own Country, and he was also in The Crown. So he was someone that some people were talking about for potentially Snape. And then another actor who people were kind of thrown around for Snape is an actor named Jamie Bell. So those are two other names I'm going to bring to the table here. Again, I haven't seen Josh O'Connor or Jamie Bell in anything myself. So it's hard. Jamie Bell, he's best known for Billy Elliot, but he was also in Jumper and Fantastic Four, the bad one. Alex will say they're all bad. I don't know how they keep getting that series wrong, by the way. I love Fantastic Four so much. and he was also in Rocket Man. So got a couple of really good films underneath his belt. Would like to see what he could do with the character potentially.
Did you have any more, Lauren?
No, I have
Okay.
one.
Okay. All right. So my first choice for this role would be Tom Hiddleston, who we all know as Loki from the Marvel movies and
That's good.
the Loki series too. I mean, I feel like I don't need to explain why this would work. He is incredible as Loki. He does good, he does bad, he does fun. I mean, he's all over the place in the MCU, like literally and metaphorically. So he could totally pull this off, and he uh, looks the part too. I mean, I think this is a slam dunk personally. I know everyone wants Adam Driver to be it. I could totally see it. I would not hate Adam Driver, but I think for me personally, Tom Hiddleston is the choice.
I thought about Tom Hiddleston, and I agree he's kind of got that look to him. I feel at this point he's just like a little too old. And again, not to say that he's old, but you know, if they're casting properly aged, like he looks like he's in his 40s and Snape should be like 30.
Adam Driver is 40. I know because I looked it up earlier.
Tom Hiddleston is 42.
But
so
Adam
yeah.
Driver looks younger.
Oh yeah, no, he looks much younger.
Okay.
I like it. I do, and I would not be disappointed if this was what they chose to do. I do think it would be hard. I love Loki so much. That series has been just amazing for Disney. It's so good, and he does such a good job. It would be hard for me to see him as anything but Loki at this point. That would be my only hesitation.
Yeah,
with him
that's
being
fair. That's fair.
And I mean, it's the same kind of issue with Adam Driver. I mean, I'm sure there's people that are just like, oh, I can only see Kylo Ren, or I can only see whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure with some of these characters it would be that way. And I think he would pull off Snape really, really well. So I don't hate it. But we all three put Driver, so I feel like
Yeah. The last one I'll mention really quickly is Jeremy Irons. Now this one definitely does fall prey to the sin of being too old. I was willing to overlook that for this one. Alan Rickman was way too old to be playing like the canonical Snape, so I was gonna give it a pass for this choice. I think Jeremy Irons just another amazing, super talented actor, and for me, what really sold me was his voice. If you never heard him speak, he's the voice of Scar in The Lion King, the original Lion King. Just such a powerful voice, and you know that was part of Alan Rickman's portrayal of Snape. Like, yes, he had the look with the nose and the hair and everything, but like the way he spoke was so iconic, and I think Jeremy Irons's voice would be different enough from Snape, from Alan Rickman's interpretation of Snape, but also like very distinct, that I would love to see it, but I think realistically he's too old.
So Alex, how about this? Because he has a son who's also an actor. Max Irons.
Okay.
I don't know what his acting ability is, but if he's anything like his father, he might be able to pull it off.
Yeah.
That like dark brooding look to him.
Mm-hmm.
But like I kind of think he looks like Joey Tribbiani a little bit. So like I don't know if I could get like Matt LeBlanc playing Snape out of my head. But just a thought. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, this is news to me, but sure, why not?
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. We should also point out that Zeta in the YouTube chat suggested Keanu Reeves to play Snape, which would be an interesting choice.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, obviously he's got the look, but I don't know if he can do that kind of character.
Eh, I don't think so.
I think it would be too much of a stretch for him.
Yeah. He's also
Yeah.
like kind of getting up there in years.
Yeah, he's gotta be in his at least upper 40s, if not 50s, right?
I'm thinking like late 50s.
I was gonna at least upper 40s, but
He's
probably
59.
oh, okay. Yeah, no. He's too old. Sorry.
Yup.
That's not gonna work.
Okay. So I guess we're choosing Adam Driver, right? We've confirmed
mean,
that since
Yeah.
he's on each of
yeah.
our lists
Yeah.
here. He makes our main list. Okay. Next character we're gonna go to is Hagrid. This one gets a little fun right now, I think. So my first choice for Hagrid is not an actor.
Oh gosh.
So I don't know if he could possibly even do this, but he's got the look of Hagrid. He is actually like a bodybuilder, strongman,
Hmm.
and his name is Eddie Hall. He's got TikToks and everything too. I gave him his powerful picture here, but the face is like exactly Hagrid, like Robbie Coltrane Hagrid, and he's a big dude.
You might call him the Beast.
Yes, he's got the beast all over his arms. Strongman records and everything. And he's like watching his videos, he's pretty funny. He's got a lot of character to him, which we all know Hagrid has. So if there was a way to kind of transfer that into some kind of acting ability, even if he like, I don't even know if he'd want to, but I think he would be a good choice. Hagrid does have some like really, I guess, heartwarming, heartfelt parts, which
Mhm.
Yeah.
you need to have some like strong acting
Mm-hmm.
on. And like, I don't know if he would be able to pull that off. Like, maybe he's a quick study, maybe he can tap into it and do it. That would be my only, like, I guess, real like hesitation with this. But just based on the look and what Hagrid's supposed to be, and even going back to what JK, like the inspiration for Hagrid was this big biker guy that came like to a bar that she was at, and he was talking about his garden of flowers. Like he just totally fits what that is. So when I saw him, I was just like, this guy looks like he could be Hagrid, and like I always just kept that in my mind.
Yeah, he definitely has the look of the big man that
Uh-huh.
Hagrid would need to be. So,
My second choice for Hagrid is an actor, Nick Frost.
Hmm.
Often seen with Simon Pegg, but they have branched out, been doing other stuff recently. But he's more so the comedian, which Robbie Coltrane was. And I think he could pull off like the heartwarming type of stuff. He's been doing a lot more, I guess, dramatic roles recently. So if they want to kind of go that route, I feel like he might be a good choice. He's again, movie magic. They're going to make him as big as they want him to be. He's a little bit like shorter, but again, like I don't know how tall Robbie Coltrane was, but they can make him look big, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was my other choice, Nick Frost.
When I was doing like a full list, I had cast Nick Frost as Uncle Vernon.
I like that.
Also, I don't want to gloss over that in this picture you chose, his hands are like sausages or something.
Yeah, they're not hands.
His hands are not hands. Let it be known that I did not know that was the case because I was looking at his hands when I chose it. Oh.
Oh. No, I don't hate that. I mean, obviously he has the look, so I don't hate that. I again only have one person to nominate for this role. And it is Mark Addy.
That's my pick too.
Yay!
Wow.
I am very surprised that we both got that.
This one was hard. I'll be honest. It was hard to figure out someone that would fit this particular look and the versatility of the role, I think, because Hagrid does have to be kind of blumbering, but then has those serious moments, and he's funny, but he's also sweet and he's got to be big, but a soft heart. And really and truly, I mean, he is in Game of Thrones. He is Robert Baratheon in Game of Thrones, but my favorite Mark Addy is from The Knight's Tale, as Roland. And I just think that Roland and Hagrid are they're right there. They're similar, you know. So
Yeah, for sure. I agree with all of that. This was actually one of my favorite choices that I had. Like, I just feel like he fits that role really well. For the two roles that you mentioned, he also, don't ask me why I watched this movie, but he plays Fred Flintstone in the Flintstones Viva Rock Vegas, where he does the like stupid but lovable protagonist role really well. So yeah, I think it's just, that's like a slam dunk for me.
I love it.
I feel like I'm overruled, so but I don't hate it, so let's go. All right, now let's go back to the women. We'll go to a baddie in her own right, Bellatrix Lestrange. Now this one I have many people for. Well, four really. I have four choices. I'll try to jump through them as quickly as I could possibly pull them up on the screen here. So my first choice for Bellatrix is another bad woman in her own right, Lena Headey. She played Cersei in Game of Thrones.
She's mine as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So yeah, she's got the look. She's definitely a little bit crazy. I don't know if she can pull off the unhinged type of crazy. Like Cersei, she was very she thought out all her plans. She was like, where Bellatrix is just kind of like a firecracker and just in your face. So I'd wonder what she could do with the role. My second potential choice for Bellatrix is Juno Temple. Now, I know her from Ted Lasso. She plays Keely Jones. She's kind of
Mhm.
like up and coming right now. Like she's already there, but she's like the young hot star right now for like
Yeah.
British females. So I think this would be a great get. Again, I don't know. Like she's got the look of crazy, but I haven't seen it in any of the roles that she's played. So I don't know if she can get there or not, but she's got that look.
I worry she's a little too young. I don't know.
I guess.
Mm.
I mean, if she's cousins to Sirius, she's got to be in that same kind of range, sort of, kind of, right?
Well, I guess I always thought of her being she's one of the older of the sisters, right? So I always saw her being more in the Lucius Malfoy or even a little older than that range.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
mean,
I don't know.
there's still only like 5 or 6 years between Lucius and Sirius.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we know exactly how old she is. I guess I always thought of her being the oldest of the three sisters. And I don't know if that's actually true. So,
I don't know. For whatever reason, I thought Andromeda was the oldest, but that could be like a fan film that we saw. I don't know why I would know that information.
well, maybe she is. Maybe it's ABC.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, I
Parents
think
are known to do that.
that would make sense because like Andromeda has like a fully adult child.
Child.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just see her as, again, from Ted Lasso. I see her as kind of the in her 20s kind of person, and Bellatrix is at least in her, late 30s to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kate Dillon coming here on the chat saying Andromeda is the oldest, Narcissa is the youngest. So, confirmation, because I trust Kate.
All right, sounds great.
My next potential is Daisy Head. She was in Shadow and Bone as a witch. she did some magic, but she's also the bad girl in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep.
So she's got a little bit of that to her. She could play a bad guy. She's got the look where she could be like a little unhinged and crazy, and both roles that I've seen her in, she did really, really well in. Might be the same issue as Juno Temple, where she might be a little bit on the younger side, but still a good choice. And then my final choice for Bellatrix would be Natasha O'Keefe. Now, I saw her again in Shadow and Bone. No, I'm sorry. No, this one was Wheel of Time. Yes, Wheel of Time, season 2. She played a bad person in that one, and I was just like, yeah, she's a little bit crazy. Might be a good Bellatrix there. So those are my 4 choices for Bellatrix.
Well, I only had one, and you already mentioned her, so I had Lena Headey, Cersei Lannister. Just fits to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I did not write her down. I only have one. I'll do it really quickly as a formality since we already have our pick. But I went with Karen Gillan, who played Nebula in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I promise I didn't only choose MCU actors for this exercise. There's just a lot of British people in those movies. Um, she yeah, I chose her really on the strength of her role as Nebula from Guardians. Obviously her character in those movies um is a much different kind of evil. She's very cold and calculating, like robotic, like kind of literally and metaphorically. So I don't know if that would really translate into Bellatrix. To be honest, this was one of the last ones I picked, and I wasn't feeling super strongly about it. So I'm not mad that we're not going to go this direction, but I would like to see what she could bring to the role. I think she could do it well. The other one that I will mention that I saw online is Eva Green, who definitely has the look, and she's played a few bad characters too. So I could see that one happening.
Eva Green. Where did what has she been in that I might know?
Um, did you ever see Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children?
No.
Uh, did you ever see 300 Rise of an Empire?
Yes.
Oh yeah, she's the bad lady in that movie.
Oh, that witch. All right. Well, for posterity, there's Eva Green. Now we did get
Yeah,
some
she has that look.
from Kate here, so I'm gonna pop them up on the screen real quick too. She said Jamie Murray. So we got Jamie Murray here.
Hmm.
I'm not familiar with either of these. And then she also said Marina Sirtis.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with them either.
Jamie Murray was on Dexter. I think it was season 2. He gets romantically involved with her briefly. She's pretty crazy in that, I guess. I don't know. That's all I got.
Marina's got the hair. I could say
Yeah,
that.
I do. I do like the look of Marina.
This looks like kind of a older picture though.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Looks
I'm moving quickly.
No, it's fine.
Okay, so we will jump to our next character here. Or we should be at Arthur Weasley, am I right?
correct.
All right. So I love this choice for Arthur Weasley. I think it would be fantastic. I hope it would potentially be a thing. But my choice was Martin Freeman.
Oh.
That was my pick too.
Really? All
Yeah.
right. I don't know, something
I
about
do
him.
like that.
Something about him. He's just got that like Arthur kind of feel to him. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like
Yeah, I
obviously
don't.
we know him from Marvel. He's part of what? Not Shield, right? No,
No, he's CIA.
CIA. He's in CIA, so he's a ministry guy. So like I could transition over. I don't know. He just to me, he's got that dad look, sweater vest, Arthur Weasley-ish type of deal. So I think that's a good choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know the name of the actor who played Arthur in the movies off the top of my head, but they look like they could be related.
Yeah. I mean, I just see Bilbo Baggins is all I see when I look at him from The Hobbit. Um,
It would be hard to get over that part, but
but
I think he's been in so many series right now, like
I
you
mean,
can't really.
I like it.
Yeah,
I do like it. I mean, dye his hair red, make him more gingery. But other than that, I do like it. I did have someone different though. Did you have someone else?
I didn't. He was my only choice. I loved it so much. I was just like, there's no reason to search any further.
Um, so I had Kevin McKidd as mine. Been in a lot of things, but my personal favorite is Grey's Anatomy. Um, so he's just the quintessential redheaded man that and
He does have red
just has
hair.
the look that I think would hit for for Arthur. Um so that was mine. But I will say I like Martin Freeman, so if that's where we're going, that's fine with me.
I mean, it was going to be my choice, but
Yeah, I mean that was Martin Freeman is who I wrote down first, so I'm totally cool with that. The other name that I will mention really quickly is Paul Bettany. Um, he plays Vision in the MCU. He also is Chaucer from A Knight's Tale, so another
Mm,
reference to that movie for some reason. Yeah, he's great.
it's a great movie, okay? It's wonderful.
It's a fun movie. I don't know if I would say it's a great movie.
I love that movie. It's wonderful.
Um, but yeah, I think Paul Bettany would just like I feel like he fits that role weirdly in a fun way. But I think Martin Freeman takes it for me.
all right. Well, now that we have our Arthur, it's time for us to get our Molly. I have two choices for Molly. My first choice for Molly um, is Rachel Weisz. Now, I know her from a few things, but most notably from the Mummy series. Well, the first two anyway. But I feel like she reminds me of that Molly Weasley-ish type of character. Obviously, her hair would have to be dyed red, whatever. They could do that easily. But she's got that like mom look to her now compared to like when she was younger in the Mummy series. Definitely a great actress. She was she was married to a director, Darren Aronofsky, who I auditioned for for um for the movie The Wrestler. So a lot of connections there, but I do like Rachel Weisz here for Molly. I think she would do a really, really great job in that role. And because like the Mummy series, like she fought a little bit in that, I could see her doing specifically like the Battle of Hogwarts Molly really, really well. And I think like I'm getting like giddy thinking about like Rachel Weisz delivering that line to Bellatrix. And yes, you all know which one I'm talking about.
Well, Kate says 1,000% yes. So
Yes.
there you go.
Power to the people. My second choice was going to be Evangeline Lilly.
Hmm.
Who again, we've seen her in some notable things, specifically through Marvel and Lord of the Rings, actually. Well, really Hobbit. But yeah, you used to the big fantasy series. And yeah, just a great actress. I think she could pull off Molly really, really well.
Yep. This is my just completely I had no one choice. I didn't know anyone that I would like in this role. And so I just went with a red-haired actress that I like. She is not British. I just like her. And so I I went with Emma Stone and I just like her and she's wonderful. And but
She's
she's
so
not
young.
British.
Yeah.
She's actually in her 30s, so I think they could age her up a little bit and she could pull it off. Um
She's got a 30-year-old child, basically.
Bill's not that old. It would work.
I could see her playing
But I
adult
love
Ginny.
I
If
mean, by
if
the
if,
time
if
we're ready for adult Ginny, I mean she's gonna be way too old for adult Ginny, so
no, I'm
by
just
that
saying, like,
point.
if they do go that route
No, yeah.
for like a future thing,
Yeah. Just like her. She's great. So, and I really honestly didn't have anyone else that I could think of for this part. So,
Yeah, I don't like that choice. I'm sorry.
I didn't think you would.
My choice for this role is Ella McAvoy. So she is one of the companions on Doctor Who, Donna, and then also on the American version of The Office, she played Nellie, who came into the show like season 6 or something. She's the one who, like, when Andy is he leaves the office for a while and she tries to like take over as the manager of the office. Um, and for that reason, I don't really like her, but like I feel like she's such a perfect fit for this role. Like I didn't feel like I had any choice but to choose her. Um so yeah, that's why I went with that.
what's her name?
Ella McAvoy.
Yeah, I can't even find a photo of her. It's like not coming up when I search.
Did I
But
get the wrong name?
nevertheless, I believe you. We're having fun here on this show. Obviously, this is going longer than we expected, so we're gonna keep going with this for you guys. We might not end up doing any of our segments here. I think we're just gonna keep going with our casting and some emails, and then call it a show. I think we're calling an audible on the spot for you guys. Unless our other option would be to split this up into 2 episodes, which would also be fun.
Yeah, I think we're in a good place. We can
Yeah.
just keep going.
Yeah, that's fine.
Keep
So I have an update. I don't know who Ella McAvoy is. I don't know where I came up with that name. It must have come to me in a vision or something. But the person I'm thinking of is named Catherine Tate.
Completely different name. That's not even close.
I have no explanation. I don't know what happened.
Oh my.
That's beautiful. I love it.
Alex, how?
I truly have no clue.
So if this person is who I think it is, she was in Dinner for Schmucks.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie since it came out.
And she had I will never if it's her, and it probably is. She had like the cringiest part in the entire film. And I can't get that out of my brain. I don't know how I wouldn't be able to put her as Molly. I like just due to her one role in that. I don't think I could do it.
Okay.
I still want to know where Ella McAvoy came from, though. You have no idea where you got that name from.
I
huh?
really don't. I don't know.
That's a
Awesome.
shame.
The only thing I can think of, so I wrote down James McAvoy for another character we're gonna get to in a minute. I think maybe I started to write down Ella something else, and then somehow like copy and pasted McAvoy onto her name. Like that's the only like thing that would make sense.
Yeah, that's just crazy. That's funny.
Well, it turns out Catherine Tate was not in Dinner for Schmucks, but she's got a doppelganger.
Hmm.
So yeah, there's the update. But I still see her as that character. That's the problem. So I still wouldn't be able to see her as Molly.
So we're all agreed for Emma Stone then, right?
Correct.
Exactly. No.
Emma Stone.
I think Rachel Weisz is my top choice.
All right, I can
I'm
live
good with that.
All right. We'll move on to some other order members here. Mad Eye Moody. This one, boy, oh boy, do I think I nailed this one. Because I would love to see this if this were to actually be a thing. But my pick for Mad Eye Moody, Carl Urban.
Brunch him up some, give him a scar.
Well, if you've seen him in The Boys, he's all like
Yes.
he's got that rough like exterior anyway. Like
Mhm.
he is almost
Mhm.
a variant of Mad Eye in a different universe in that show.
I'm not gonna complain about this. This is fine.
But total badass can totally see this being a thing. Like I love this choice.
He
Yeah,
need to throw
Carl.
some gray in his hair.
Mm.
Just olden him up a little bit. But other than that.
Yeah, Carl Urban is fantastic. I think one of the most underrated actors that we have today. I did not write him down for Mad Eye Moody. I put him down for a character we are not casting, Fenrir Greyback.
Nice. That would work too.
I would want to cheer for Carl Urban. That's my problem. If I see him as Fenrir, I wouldn't cheer for him.
Yeah, that's fair, but I also didn't pick him because he's not British. He is Australian or New Zealand-ish. One of the two. They're the same, right?
More or less.
Ooh, we have lots of listeners in that area. You may want to roll that one back.
I apologize for all my wrongdoings ever. So I did have one other choice for Mad Eye Moody if we were gonna go like slightly older route. This, I guess, is more in the usual, I guess, meta-ish vein. And this is an actor named Jared Harris. So he's got that look to him. He's done a lot of stuff in acting. I think he could pull this off pretty well too. But Carl Urban's my number one, obviously.
No, I like him. What is he in that I'm picturing? I can't place it, but I feel like I've seen him recently in something.
He was in Foundation
Yeah.
on Apple TV.
Mm-mm. Mm.
He's been in a lot of stuff though, so he's got one
Yeah.
of those.
He's got one of those faces. Like it. I like his face for Mad Eye.
Oh, was he Moriarty in the second Sherlock movie with
Ooh, maybe.
what's his name? Iron Man.
Oh, he was in Thor? Kate says.
He was in Morbius.
Oh, yes, Morbius. The movie everyone saw.
Carnival Row he was in, Chernobyl,
Mm-hmm.
The Crown.
That's it. There you go. Got it.
That's the
Thank
one.
you.
The Man from
Yeah.
UNCLE. Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Pompeii.
No, it's The Crown. That's what I'm picturing. No, he both really good choices for Mad Eye Moody. I like both of them. I went Game of Thrones route, and I went for Christopher Heavju. I can't say his name, but
Oh, yeah.
he plays Tormund
Yep.
Giantsbane in Game of Thrones. And I mean, obviously, I think Mad Eye Moody needs that rugged look about him, and Tormund has a like just rugged look for him. If Joe will pull up a picture.
Yeah, I'm it's hard
Getting there.
to search for an actor whose name you don't properly pronounce. So
Well, it's Christopher with a K too. Christopher with a K and an F instead of a PH. So he's just got a odd name. So hopefully
and
that'll
you expect me to know this off the top of my head, and I
Oh,
picked
you
the
could have looked
smallest.
up. That's why I
smallest
said
picture ever.
Torment. I said Torment.
There, just for that,
I knew who you were talking about.
you get a
Warren.
small picture.
Oh, yeah, but it's a pretty good picture for a Mad Eye picture. Yeah, I think that he would do a really good job with the just a little unhinged Mad Eye is.
I can see that.
Yeah, that's not bad. My choice for this, we already discussed, is Liam Neeson.
Mm-hmm.
I could just totally see him slapping on an eye patch, yelling at children, constant vigilance. It just, I don't know. It just seems such a natural fit. This is really based off of like his Qui-Gon Jinn role from Star Wars, where he's
Mhm.
very mentoring, but also like when it's time to duel, it's time to duel. He's all business.
Right.
Yeah, he's just Liam Neeson's been around for forever, and he does lots of action and he does lots of drama, so it's great.
I don't hate that. But he's still my Dumbledore, so
I feel like Mad Eye is really angry, whereas Liam Neeson would be like old man angry. Like I don't know if he's got that fire in him still.
I mean, you watched Taken though, right?
Which at this point was like 20 years ago. So like
It was not that long ago.
It was not that long ago.
It was like 15 years ago.
oh, I'm so
Shut-
sorry.
Yeah, this is making me feel old.
Round it up. Okay.
I mean, if I had to vote on our options here, even though he's not British, I would go with Carl Urban. But that's just because I like Carl Urban. So seeing him as Mad Eye Moody would be pretty awesome.
I concur.
Okay.
All right. Next up on the docket, we got Sirius Black. So when I thought Sirius Black, for whatever reason, I always came to this one person, and that was Richard Madden.
Hmm.
You would know him
He's
as
pretty.
Robb Stark from Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He was also in Eternals, I believe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just got that young, serious look to me, anyway.
No, I don't hate that.
Yeah. Yeah. I did not choose him. I put him down for a different role that I'm not 100% sold on. So this might be a better fit, to be honest.
All right, potential. So I have one other choice for Sirius Black, and this is another one that is maybe a little bit outside the box, but I still like it. And that is Dev Patel.
Hmm.
Hmm.
He was
I mean, the
in
hair matches.
Slumdog Millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this would be possibly a good way to be a little bit more inclusive. You get different ethnicities involved, and bringing in different people, and he's got the look of Sirius with the hair and the like. I could see his face on the Prisoner of Azkaban wanted photo or whatever it is. Have you seen this wizard?
Mm-hmm.
And then just also like looking all nicer in his like once he gets out and is playing Black Dog and going to the ministry and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
his
think
hair
this is-
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great choice. Didn't even consider it, but I could totally see it.
I also went with a Game of Thrones here. But I went with a different brother. I went with Kit Harington, Jon Snow, as my Sirius Black. I don't know that I have to explain myself very much for this one. He's to me, he
He's just-
fits the look as well as kind of the nature. Oh, yep. Hmm. I mean, he's pretty. And Sirius should be pretty, but also rugged. So I mean, I like it.
Yeah, I like this one too. I think I briefly considered it, but I wrote Kit Harington down for James Potter. Which I know like
Fair enough.
Steve's a little bit older. It's not perfect, but I mean, I feel like
better
Sirius,
than the first.
yeah. I
Mhm.
feel like Sirius and James like look very similar, so I think it makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't hate that either.
My choice for Sirius Black, again, this is not going to match the ages, but I don't care. I am fully committed to this one. I think it should be Christian Bale.
I don't hate that.
I just,
I mean, it
can-
doesn't match the ages, but
No, not at all. Not at all. But I can just picture Christian Bale doing the unhinged version of Sirius that Gary Oldman does in the third movie, just like perfectly. I think he would absolutely just like dominate that role. And I need to see it. I need to see it. I don't know how they're going to make it work, but I don't care. That's what I want.
Yeah, I think the age to me would be the only thing that like bothers me about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do agree with you that he would do this role very well. But if we're like trying to come up with another Gary Oldman-esque type of Sirius Black, he would be a good fit.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing they're probably going to go a little bit younger.
Yeah. Which makes me sad because I mean this is such a great pick. My second choice for this would be someone we already talked about, Ben Barnes. Solid actor, would be really great.
Yeah, if they want to keep Ben in his pretty boy look, I could see Ben Barnes as Sirius for sure. Yeah. Because we're going to think he's bad in Prisoner of Azkaban anyway. So he could still do that little bit of a bad that he does have.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna pick this one. I think all five
don't
names
either.
you just said are so good.
Maybe it'll be our Muggle poll.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might have to be it because like I'm still stuck on Kit Harington, but I also like all the other ones that we just threw out there. So I can't logically say that any of that Kit would do better than any of the other ones that we've just thrown out there and I agree with you, Alex. I think Christian Bale would rock this role if he was just a little younger. It would be
I mean, if they want to spend the money to age him down a little bit, like they did like Samuel Jackson and Captain
they'd
Marvel.
have to age him down a lot. Like because he looks older now. Like,
Shaving does wonders.
I had trouble a little bit with, the Sirius James, the even Snape as far as ages go, because if we're being canonically accurate, they should be in their early 30s.
Right.
And that's pretty limiting for the type of actor that we want in those roles. And so it makes it a little bit harder.
I get it.
I just want to point out that Christian Bale is quote unquote he's gonna turn 50 later this month. Which is obviously not the right age, but I actually thought he was a lot older than that. So I don't know. I see it. I think it would work.
I think if they decided to go that direction, they would have to do the same thing that they did in the movies and cast all the friends to be of similar age and just age everyone up to match him, because he would just look so much older than all the other people.
He's had a hard life, Lauren.
Azkaban will do that to you.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do like him as far as the actor that he is for that role. I think it would be really hard with his age.
We'll put a pin in it.
Okay.
We'll circle the wagons back via Muggle poll. Be on the lookout. All right, next up here, another very big character for this series, Remus Lupin. I think I got some winners here. We'll see if any of these match what you guys have. Obviously, Lupin has a little bit of a different look than everyone else. So my first choice for this particular character, and it was also, I didn't always peg him as Lupin, but knowing that he's gotten older and seeing him, I'm just like, he could definitely do this. So my first choice is Nicholas Hoult.
Mm.
You could see him in movies such as The Menu. Alex's favorite. But I mean, he's been in so much stuff. He was a kid actor, grew up in acting, so many different movies. So he's got the pedigree to pull off something as big as this. I think he's the right age for it, and I like him. So I think he's a good choice for Lupin.
Yeah, I finally watched Renfield a couple weeks ago. It's a very bizarre movie, but he's
I've
great in
seen
that.
it. Yeah, I've seen Renfield. Nicolas Cage. Yes. When we were throwing around doing like the worst casting for this, right?
All American actors.
We need to put a pin in Nicolas Cage as Voldemort. Like, maybe so bad that it's great.
It's no. No.
All right, so I got two more. My second choice for Lupin is Alfie Allen. You would know him from Game of Thrones as Theon Greyjoy.
I have him later. I did use him for a different character.
In Game of Thrones, Alfie portrays Theon. I mean, Theon goes through an incredible amount. Like his arc in that show is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So you know he's got range.
Horrifying. Mm-hmm.
And Lupin, he's gone through a lot throughout his life, and although we don't see everything that he's going through, you're gonna want to be able to, I guess, show that, emote that through your performance. So I think he has that ability to be able to do that. And then my final choice for Lupin, and this would be like a big get, so we'll see if this is something that could potentially be, but that would be James McAvoy, not to be confused with Ella McAvoy, who doesn't exist. But James McAvoy, another great actor with wide range in ability. But I don't know. I think all three of those actors have like a wolfy kind of look to them. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. And I just
wolfy look.
And I could just see them just turning into a werewolf.
Yeah, I'm really glad you said that last one, Joe, because that was also my choice for this role. If you've ever seen the movie Split, he has a kind of a transformation sequence at the end of that movie, and I was kind of channeling that when I envisioned him for this role. So I think it would work pretty well. But I think your other choices are great too.
Yeah, two of yours I actually have casted for different roles. And James McAvoy I actually put as James Potter. So, um, I I think it's interesting that we're all in the Marauders at least for and everything. But I don't hate it. I think he would be good in this role as well. Um,
Alex, did you have anyone else, or was he like your only choice that
Just
you
the
picked?
one.
Well,
I have one. So I have Charlie Hunnam.
okay, I know who he is.
He's in several things, including the recent movie Rebel Moon. I don't really like his character in that one, but um but I especially like him in King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, and The Gentleman. Um and I just as far as looks go, he just screamed Lupin to me. Um little rugged, but still um I don't know, still attractive. And I well, that's a picture of him. Okay, that's not the best picture of him, but but yes. And
I mean,
I
would you
think you
prefer
would.
one with his shirt off?
No.
Like I don't know what. Like that's how he
Oh
looks. I don't.
goodness. It's fine. No. Just don't think it shows off his face very well. That's okay. Um but yeah, I just think the ruggedness of him I liked for Lupin. But again, I'm okay with James McAvoy if that's where we're going with this. That works for me.
I do think that's the way we're going.
Okay.
But my one issue with Charlie Hunnam is I feel like he looks like a jacked Heath Ledger.
He kind of does.
And I can never, like, I've seen him in a couple of things now. And every time I see him, I go, is that Heath? No, it's not.
That would be weird.
Yeah.
I really liked him in The Gentleman. I think that's where I really like him the best.
No.
But
I haven't seen The Gentleman, but he's in Pacific Rim, and I
he
like
is in
that
that
movie.
as well. Yeah. You should watch The Gentleman. Put it on your list
I think it's on a list somewhere.
somewhere.
Yeah, I've got
It's a
a
good
lot
movie.
of lists.
It's a good movie. All right.
Okie dokie. Let me just get caught up here on my photos. And we are at Nymphadora Tonks. Right?
Yep.
I sure hope so. Now, I think I messed something up here. Let me see if I can still pull this up. Okay, I can. Good. All right. Technology, people. Weird. Anywho, I think I got the perfect pick for Nymphadora Tonks as well. And you're going to. Alex is going to mention something about the picture. I know it. But my pick for Tonks, my first pick anyway, I got two. First one is Maisie Williams. And I picked Maisie for her pink hair. No.
It is good.
I feel like she fits that like right out of school age kind of like 20s type of vibe. I've seen her in a few different things where she's I mean obviously in Game of Thrones she's she's very serious. She is such a great fighter in that one.
Mhm.
And we think that about Tonks, but I've also seen her be very quirky and and neat and cool. And I feel like Maisie can pull off all of that. So I think like that's why number one, she was my first choice there.
I like that. I
Yeah.
actually like that. I think better than my choice. So
Yeah, I did not consider her, but I think that's a great choice.
My second choice is an actress named Nadia Parks. And the reason why I chose her, well, one, I liked her role in what I saw her in. I saw her in I think it was an Amazon Prime movie that would be on my Potter watch for this week if we were getting to it, which we are not, but we will be getting to that next week. Don't you worry. But when I saw her, she just reminded me of Natalia Tena or Natalie Tena. I don't know her legit first name, but the actress who played Tonks in the first one. I was like, wow, she looks like another Tonks. And yeah. So I was just, and so when I saw that, I was like, I'm gonna watch her now. And yeah, I thought she was pretty good. So I was just like, okay, this could be another potential option for Tonks if you're looking for like an up and coming type of person to put in this role.
Uh-huh.
I don't hate that. She does kind of look like Tonks. But I haven't seen her in anything, so I don't know.
Right. Yeah. She's definitely not on a Maisie Williams level.
No.
I mean, not every person can be like superstar. like they're just they're not gonna have they're not gonna have the budget for it. So
no.
and
that is something to keep in mind with this is like we're naming kind of the best of the best.
Right.
For most
right,
of
yeah.
these,
The budget for this thing will be $500 million. Shoot.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. Well, my Nymphadora Tonks that I had is also from Game of Thrones. So I had Emilia Clarke. I mean, she's been in more than just Game of Thrones, but that's probably her most well known at this moment. But I really liked her and some of her other things that she's done. She's done a few like rom-coms and stuff like that I really like the quirkiness of her. And so when I was
Terminator
picturing
Genesis.
that too. Yeah. No, she's been in a lot. Don't get me wrong. But some of the rom-coms that she's in, when I was trying to picture Nymphadora, like, so she needs to be strong, like you were saying, Joe, and be able to battle, but she also needs to have the quirky and soft side too, and that kind of a thing. And when I was also thinking about like the romance part of her and Lupin and being able to kind of see that from afar, um her roles and some of those other things that she's been in. She's been in a lot and very versatile roles. So I really like her.
No, I like this choice. I was considering Emilia Clarke somewhere. I just feel like for Tonks, I was looking for someone who was a little bit younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say
That's what I was thinking too.
Since you guys have been giving me so much grief about it.
She looks very young. I would say that she could pass for younger than what she is. However,
Right.
I do agree that she's on the older side of that age that we would want for Tonks.
Like I'm trying to look at it based on also like who we're thinking about for Lupin.
Mm-hmm.
And there should be, in my opinion, because I think their relationship is so toxic, that that like you should be able to see a little bit of an age difference with
Oh
them.
yeah.
And
Oh,
I feel
yeah.
like if it's like James McAvoy and Amelia Clark, I feel like they would be a couple. Like they would be a great power
Yeah.
couple. But with like
They'd look really
McAvoy
good together.
with like a Maisie Williams, like that you could see the difference,
Hmm.
but it's also like not like super duper creep weird.
Right. No, like I said, I mean, I think Amelia Clark would do really well with Tonks, but I do like Maisie Williams as well. So
My choice for this role is Daisy Ridley, who we all know as Rey from the sequel Star Wars saga, but also she's been in other stuff too. I didn't have great reason for this. I just thought like, oh, she's young, brunette, pretty, she can kick butt. Like she just like checked all the boxes, and that was good enough for me.
I don't hate that either.
Daisy Ridley was on my, I guess, my big list of British actors that I knew existed that I was trying to place, but didn't end up making my list. That is the look coming right out of Christmas. Trying to get home before the full moon hits.
Yeah. No,
But yeah,
I like that too.
I could see it.
Yeah.
I think
know,
I like
my
Maisie
vote's-
better though.
Yeah, my vote's still gonna be for Maisie, for this particular.
Daisy's a close two though.
Yeah,
Alright.
that's really close.
Yeah.
All right, next up on our list here is Ollivander, who doesn't play like the greatest, most biggest role in this series, but I think I would also say that replacing Ollivander, John Hurt's Ollivander, is going to be super tough based on how great he played Ollivander. So you would need someone who's going to do a really good job at this particular role. So my choice for Mr. Ollivander is Simon McBurney. And I noticed this guy from Carnival Row. And if you haven't seen him, he's he starts off as something and then ends up transitioning into more of like a diplomatic kind of role. But he gets to show a little bit of his serious and then a little bit of like playful to him. But I feel like the way he was delivering his lines and the way he portrayed this particular character in Carnival Row, I feel like he would be able to do Ollivander really, really well. Whereas when you read the books, Ollivander, after reading his part, you kind of got the feel that you weren't sure if he was a good guy or a bad guy. Like it was just,
Yeah.
it came off really just weird, but memorable. And I think he could do it.
No, I like the look
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
It's hard when you haven't seen the actors in something that you're
Yeah.
particularly familiar with.
Uh-huh.
Correct. But I feel like I've seen him in something else and I just can't place it.
Is it The Crown?
Everyone's in The Crown.
Probably. I will say for some of mine that I like struggled with, I just pulled up The Crown cast and was like, who can I put in these roles? Because they're all great. Like all of them were great. And they did a really good job casting The Crown. So I feel like if they just stole some of those people, it would not be a problem. Speaking of, one of mine for this role is from The Crown, or at least that's where I know him from. so, um, so I have two for this one. This is one of my few that I couldn't choose between two. But the first one is from The Crown, Jonathan Pryce, and that's Price with a Y. Joe, just so as you are looking that up. He plays the most recent Prince Philip in The Crown. And I'm gonna be honest, as soon as this was one of those that like it just stood out to me when I was casting. I saw the name on our list and I was like, oh, who is it? What's his name that plays Prince Philip? Because it just automatically just popped in my head and I couldn't get it out of my head. Um and he has kind of that little crazy look a little bit. He's older. I do think that this actor needs to like look older than Dumbledore, and so I was like very adamant that this be even an older actor. Um and yeah, I mean, I don't know if y'all have watched The Crown, but
No, but he was in Game of Thrones.
Uh-huh.
yes, he was.
The High Sparrow,
High
I believe
Sparrow.
he was called.
Yep.
Also,
Yep.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Governor Swan.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, he's obviously been in a lot more. It's just the Prince Philip that was stuck in my head. So but I really like him for Mr. Ollivander. And then my second one is a Mr. Ian McKellen, aka Gandalf.
Yeah, I think this is a really popular choice online.
I don't know that I need to explain myself very much for this one. I mean, he kind of fits the look, and I think he would do a really good job with this character. Obviously, I thought about him for Dumbledore as well, but I think that's a little more risky.
If he didn't take it back then, he's not going to take it now.
No, probably not.
No, I think it depends on how big of a check they wave in his face.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and that's actually a great picture, Joe. That looks like Ollivander to me. Is he holding a wand? Is that a wand in his hand?
He might be. I think he's checking its core.
I just think he fits that persona of Mr. Ollivander, a little kooky.
Yeah, those are both awesome picks. For me, my first choice for this role would be Malcolm McDowell, who, again, has been in like a million things. I don't know what his most famous role is. I mean, it's probably A Clockwork Orange, but that movie came out like 40, like maybe 50 years ago. Like it's quite old now. So I don't know what he's most well known for these days, but like he just looks kind of a little bit crazy, but also like very important and impressive. So he was like the natural fit for me when I was coming up with this.
Yeah, I like him too.
If I'm not mistaken, he played the bad guy in Get Smart.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie in so long. I don't remember.
Obviously the newer updated version. with Steve Carell.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'd. I don't know. I haven't seen him in much. I'll be honest. Like that's my only reference point for him
Hmm.
that I can remember anyway. So, out of all these, and considering my guy's a no-name guy compared to these other big ones, um, like I don't think my guy's gonna get picked. But out of the rest, I'd probably choose Ian McKellen.
Well, I did have one more.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes, sorry. Ben Mendelsohn, who in recent years has been kind of typecast as a villain. He was the bad guy in Star Wars Rogue One. He was the bad guy in Ready Player One. He was the bad guy in Captain Marvel. So he's got like the sinister kind of undertones for Ollivander that Joe was talking about. And then also just like his British accent is so very like particular that I think it would be a very memorable performance if they were to choose him.
I don't hate that either.
I can't really think of anything that I know him from. Like I obviously recognize his face, but I don't remember any of his performances. So
yeah, once I saw him in Rogue One where he was playing Krennic, I think was his name. He's like the main bad guy in that movie. Once I saw him in that, I started seeing him like everywhere.
and I've seen Rogue One, and I like Rogue One a lot. I'm willing to go with whoever you guys choose.
I mean, go big or go home. I'm all for Ian McKellen.
I mean, yeah, I think everyone would be happy with that choice. So I definitely would not be upset with it.
They better film his Deathly Hallows stuff early.
Well, and see, that was one thing I was thinking of is like, how often do we see Ollivander? We only see him 1, 4, and 7.
Mm-hmm.
So if they had to do a recasting later, it wouldn't be so like jarring as Dumbledore. We see that like Dumbledore needs to be a more consistent person to me.
I feel you. I agree. Up next, ooh, we got a big one here. Dolores Umbridge. Now, I am very satisfied with my pick for Dolores Umbridge.
Me too. So
Based
this will be fun.
solely off of her look. I mean, and I've seen, now granted, I've seen her in something as well. So I think acting wise, I think she could pull it off. But just looking at her, I feel like you get like that Umbridge look to her. The actress's name is Joanna Scanlon.
Yeah.
But she's got, to me, she's got that Umbridge-ish type of look.
Yeah.
You dress her in pink, give her some hems.
I'll be honest, the picture you have of her with all the like green around her is I'm like, oh, Professor Sprout. She looks like a Professor Sprout to me.
I mean, she might be able to pull that off too.
Uh-huh.
It looks like she's in a greenhouse right now. No, I think she does definitely have that Umbridge look. I don't know that I've seen her in anything, so I don't know. Um,
All right. What say you, Lauren? Who do you have?
all right. So mine I really like as well. And it's also a Crown um actress, although I'm sure she's been in other things as well. Olivia Colman. And from my perspective, she is the second queen in the Crown, so she's that middle age queen. And what I really like about it is, Imelda Staunton is the older queen, and so it was like, oh, I'm just gonna take the queen and age her down, and I think it fits. um and she just has that persona. I mean, the way she carries herself, the look about her. Um, I mean, I think more the Crown version of her. This is a different picture, but um, throw her in a pink pantsuit and have her, and I see it because she plays that persona in as Queen Elizabeth very, very, very well. So I think she would do a great Umbridge.
It's really funny to me that you made this choice because she's who I cast as Professor Sprout.
Oh my! I mean, that would work too. I
That's-
also considered her for McGonagall, so but I felt like it fit for Umbridge um considering she's the middle age queen and Imelda is the older age queen. So
I
that's
believe
it.
she was in Secret Invasion, the Marvel TV show.
I didn't watch that, so
Yeah, I didn't either, but I believe you're right. So was Ben Mendelsohn, just for the record.
Sweet. So I have seen him in something else.
My choice for this role, this one also maybe a little bit controversial, is Haley Atwell. She played Agent Carter in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I don't know how to say this without sounding weird. But I think she might be too pretty to be Umbridge. And I don't mean that in any disrespect to Imelda Staunton because she's not an ugly woman. Like, to be honest, I think she did a great job as Umbridge. I'm not denying that. But like the description that we get in the books is she's very toad-like. And they did not go for that when they cast her as Umbridge, and that's fine. But I feel like Haley Atwell still goes like more in the opposite direction of not being unattractive enough because she is the opposite of that. But I can see this working. Like, I feel like she could pull this off really well. And I don't really know why. I feel like she would do a great job.
yeah, I mean, I don't hate it, but I do see what you're saying that I mean, I'm sure they could make her look the way she needs
Mhm.
to look to pull off Umbridge. But she is very pretty.
And too young.
Well, by the time they need an Umbridge, she'll be 5 years, 6 years older.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be attracted to Umbridge. That is a turn off.
I don't disagree with you on that.
Hence why I like my pick. No offense, Joanna.
Yeah, I don't know. I still like my picks. So.
Okay, well, I guess I will vote for Joe's choice. Although, I mean, you could swap them around, like have what was the lady's name you picked, Joe?
Joanna Scanlon.
Yeah, you could have her be Sprout and have Olivia Colman be Umbridge, or you could have Joanna be Umbridge and have Olivia Colman be Sprout. I think they both work both ways.
Yep. I agree.
All right, now we get to the final piece of the Marauders. Peter Pettigrew, and this will be our final person that we do for this episode. We might just have to do a butterbeer banter with the rest of the characters. That's just because it's getting, we're almost at 11:45 here, and I do want to get to our community emails, so I have to put the stopper in right now. I do apologize.
Okay.
Sorry, Alex.
Fine.
This affects you the most. I know.
Yes, yeah. I'll survive.
But more content for the community. So there we go. You're getting an extra butterbeer banter on top of the movie commentaries that we're going to be doing. So Peter Pettigrew, I have 3 choices for Peter Pettigrew. My first choice is Freddie Highmore. Now I was not only going for a good actor, but I was also going for a very particular look too. And I know he's in like a doctor's show right now, I believe.
The Good Doctor.
Mhm.
My wife loves that show.
So he's doing that right now, on top of some other things. But again, I was looking for actors that have that kind of like weaselly, ratty kind of look, similar to like what Timothy Spall had going on. You know what I mean? While also keeping the same age range of what the rest of the Marauders would be.
Yeah.
So Freddie Highmore is my first choice. My second choice is Riz Ahmed. Now, Riz Ahmed, I saw him in the movie, I think it was called The Sound of Metal. And that was a movie where he like lost his hearing, he became deaf and whatnot. But again, this is a talented actor, number one, who fits that age range, and I think would be good at that like weaselly kind of character. And then my third choice.
He was also in Rogue One. I just since we keep
Yes,
talking
he
about
was. He was in Rogue One. You're right. My final choice is an actor, James Buckley, who he was in a comedy series called The In-Betweeners. And I enjoyed the in-betweeners, but again, he has that kind of like look to him that just like looks like a worm tail.
Yeah,
So
all
yeah,
solid.
those are my three choices for Peter Pettigrew.
Well, my choice for Peter Pettigrew, we named earlier for a different Marauder. But I chose Alfie Allen for Peter Pettigrew.
Mm.
I think he, as you said, Joe, he has that kind of like ratty look a little bit. But also the obvious, I mean, Theon Greyjoy and how he played that. Um he's also in John Wick in his character, and that is very Peter Pettigrew-ish to me. Um I think this fits. Oh, yeah, okay. So you're gonna use that picture for him. I mean, I rest my case. But
What?
I
What's wrong
think
with the
that
photo?
yeah, you used the good picture of him when it was your character he was trying to be cast for. And then for me, you're going to use the bad picture of him. I see how it is. But I really like him in this role for all the reasons.
Alex, how about you?
Okay, so I have two choices for this one, and again, I did not stick to age ranges because that just doesn't really bother me. So get over it. My first choice for this is Andy Serkis, and man, if they announce this, I don't think this will happen. But if they announce this, I would lose my mind because, like, just the thought of Andy Serkis and his very animated performances that he gives doing this role, I think would be just perfect. I can't even imagine how great he would be at this role. um yeah, it would just, oh, I'm getting flustered thinking about how amazing it would be.
He would be really good at this particular role, but you are correct. He is too old. But
I was going to say pipe dream.
My
There's no way. No way.
Yes, you're right. But this is one of the ones that I was mentioning earlier. Like, I think he would be great in almost any role that you would give him for this series. Like,
Oh, sure.
he's
Yeah.
just that good of an actor. Like, I can't think of a role that he wouldn't be good as except for like Harry and Ron.
And he might pull that off. I actually, as you said that, I'm like, ooh, what about Mad Eye Moody for him? Like that, that I think he would do a really good. But I agree with you. I think if you casted him, he would.
Yeah, he
He
could do
would
Dumbledore,
pull
he
it
could do Voldemort, he could do Snape. Like, literally, I think he could do anything.
Mhm.
My second choice for this
He could do
is
Dumbledore and he could do Dobby. Like that's a range right there.
Yeah. My second choice for Wormtail is Ewan Bremer. He's been in a lot of stuff. I think I haven't seen this movie actually, so maybe I shouldn't use it as a reference. But Train Spotting, I think, is probably his most famous role. Alien versus Predator, which is a movie that I love, but is not very well liked by most people. He fits that like ratty kind of look that we've all been talking about. He just has a very particular face. If you've ever seen the movie Fargo, when Marge is going around asking people about Steve Buscemi's character, they're like, "Oh, what do he look like? Oh, he's just kind of funny looking." Like, funny looking how? Oh, I don't know, just kind of funny looking. He's a funny looking guy, and I think he would be great as Peter Pettigrew.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has that kind of look.
Again, my issue would be he's just way old. I know you don't prescribe to it, but I'm just saying.
What do you
Dude's
think he would? I mean, I think to be fair, like, how old would Peter look given that he's spent 12 years as a rat and hasn't changed into his human form in 12 years?
not 51, which is what he is.
I do think it's possible that he would look a lot older, malnourished. I could see them going with someone a little older just for that reason.
Perhaps.
I'm not married to any of these choices, so
So maybe we just haven't hit on it yet.
yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe not. I don't know.
Okay, well then just write down Andy Circus and we can be done.
No,
Let's do that. That sounds great.
No, I am not putting my name on that.
I do agree with you, Alex. You would do a great job.
It's got to be one of the younger people.
Alex,
Well-
of the younger people, who's your favorite? Since you picked the older people.
Remind me who you guys picked again.
I had Alfie Allen.
Uh-huh.
I had Freddie Highmore, Riz Ahmed, and James Buckley.
Yeah. I'll say this might be the more boring answer, but I'll say Alfie Allen.
Yeah, it is.
I agree with you. For obvious reasons.
Kate wanted Andy Dermott. I mean Circus. Andy Circus. That's what Kate wanted, but Kate, it's not happening, Kate.
No.
I want at least a chance here. That's what I want. Well, that rounds out our fan casting for tonight's main topic of the show. I knew this was going to take a while to get through. That's why I left a certain amount of characters off and a certain amount of characters on. And so, yeah, this definitely went way longer than I had anticipated, but I'm glad we did it. And hopefully you all enjoyed it. Would love to hear your thoughts about all of this. So please send us an email, talesfromgodrickshollow@gmail.com, or get a hold of us on any of our social medias. What I hope to do is we'll put out like a list of our fan casting of everything once we finish. Again, we'll probably have to do a butterbeer banter for the rest of the characters, and we'll definitely post that for you guys to listen to. But yeah, this was fun, and I am hoping that we nail some of these. That would be what are the odds? Like, what are the legit odds that we hit on one of these?
I don't know. Like,
I feel like statistically, because we said so many names, like we were bound to get at least one of them right.
But well, obviously, like names, yes, we've said a lot of names, but did we match the name with the right character?
I think so. I mean, I don't know anything about casting.
I like our cast.
Yeah.
I mean, I like our cast too. I think, shoot, we'd rejuvenate the whole Wizarding World with this cast.
We should just go ahead and send it over to HBO and just say, hey, we already took it off your plate.
Dear Warner Brothers, you're welcome.
Here you go.
And maybe we will. We'll call them out on TikTok. We'll get a trend going. Anyhow, we'll get that
We're
together.
probably wrong on all of them. Let's be honest.
I was gonna
We
set
got
the
none.
over under to one, like a half. Like,
One
do
and
we
a
hit
half.
on one? Not even 1.5, just a half. Like, do we hit on one perfectly? And that's what I would set the over under at. And
I think the safe bet is the under, unfortunately.
the safe bet is the under, but
No, I have more faith in
Uh,
our ability than that.
I'm going over. Over for me. Anywho, again, thank you for participating with us here. I do want to announce what we're doing next week on episode 377. We will be beginning our major moments of book number 5, Order of the Phoenix. We'll be jumping into that. Whew. We're moving forward. So that will be next week's episode. If you want to participate in that one, again, you can email us, talesfromgodricshollow@gmail.com. And our first major moment is, of course, the first chapter, Dudley Demented. And we'll get to talking to it for sure. But we do have some emails that I want to get to. So you know what? We're just going to jump right into them. We're not even going to break. We'll just go right into it. If Lauren and Alex are ready, of course.
Ready?
Yep.
All right, let's go. Alrighty, we have our first email for the evening coming in from Julia.
Hey, Julia.
She says, "Hi, TFGH crew. I'm behind on podcast and behind on sending this email. I just listened to episode 374 where y'all talked about what would happen if Harry had asked Cho to the dance. One thing Joe forgot to mention is that if they had lasted till book 7, which they would have in Joe's chaotic headcanon, Cho could have been the one Harry danced with in the tent." Yes, I love the way you're thinking there, Julia. Love it. Thank you for bringing that up. I wish I had spoken about that. Also, I wanted to share my experience at the Forbidden Forest. Ooh. It came to Dallas, and I went to see it with one of my friends in late November. I won't spend a ton of time describing it since Joe has done that on a previous episode, and the real magic is in experiencing it in person. The village at the end was so cozy. We got drinks and hung out by the fire and Christmas trees. It was very homey, and the bartender was very friendly. There's also a Forbidden Forest app, which you can use at various points along the path. It gives you info about the creatures and trivia questions, and apparently it takes pictures. Several times we opened it, saw what it had to say about where we were, and then looked away, and when we looked back at my phone, it had captured unflattering photos of us from waist height.
Oh, no.
That's not good.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Is it like hidden in like the owl's eye? Like that they have like
Yeah, it's
all
a
around the
little
forest?
creepy.
Or at least let them know, like, look here. Look at Hedwig and smile. Or just the tops of our faces in the corner of the screen. It was so unintentionally hilarious, it became one of our favorite memories of the experience. That's cool. In December, I made a second trip with my nephew/godson. His birthday is in early January, so every year he gets gifts for Christmas and a fun outing for his birthday. He's 8, soon to be 9, and absolutely loved it. When he went up to cast his Patronus, he was really hoping for a wolf. He got a badger instead. He was disappointed at first, but is now really hoping that means he's in Hufflepuff. I would think so. I would think that's the case.
I would think so. Yes.
Julie says he should be taking the quiz soon. I'll update you when I know what he gets. The only disappointment was the lack of centaurs. I'm sure there's some kind of legal red tape about having actual people's likenesses, since you only see Hagrid from the back and Harry in silhouette. On the ride home, he kept saying things like, "These are the days and nights I always look forward to," and "This is the best birthday ever."
Oh,
It was one of my favorite memories of the year. Oh,
That's
nice.
awesome.
If the Forbidden Forest comes to you, I recommend checking it out. If you could take a child and see the magic through their eyes, I recommend that even more. Well, thank you, Julia, for that update, and we're very glad you had a great experience at the Forbidden Forest. It is, although slightly expensive, a really cool experience to check out if it does end up coming by you. Alrighty, our next email comes in from Rolf.
Howdy, Ralph.
What's up, Rolf? Hi, Joe, Lauren, and Alex. Hope you all had a very Merry Christmas. I love your Canon Can Fundus episodes and really enjoyed listening to the theory about what if Harry asked Cho to the ball earlier and she said yes.
Alex, just get ready. We're gonna have
Yes.
so many
Lots of
shipping
relationship talk
Canon
this year,
Can
Alex.
Fundus.
Oh, yes.
Ah,
We're going to
It's gonna
ship
be so
everyone.
great.
this would be a perfect time for me to announce my retirement from Tales. It's been a great ride.
Wow.
Wow.
So sad. In my head, I think it is actually the Snape occlumency lessons that are the point Harry and Cho break up. I agree that initially Cho and Harry would grow closer over the summer, but the number of lies Harry would have to tell her would put a strain on their relationship. I agree he wouldn't be allowed to tell her about Sirius, Hagrid's mission with the Giants, or anything to do with the Order. He also wouldn't tell her about his dreams about the door or the dream with Mr. Weasley. When Harry started telling her he was going to remedial potions with Snape, Cho would see through this, and this would be the point where she would be exasperated at Harry constantly hiding things from her, as well as being moody and angsty. I also think in a scenario where Cho and Harry are together for a year, it is Ginny she is jealous of in book 5, not Hermione. In canon, as you said, they barely interact beyond throwaway interactions around Hogwarts and the DA. All Cho knows is that Harry hangs out with Ron and Hermione and wants to ditch their date to meet Hermione. However, if Cho is around the trio regularly, I think Cho picks up on the fact that Harry and Hermione are platonic. However, I also think Cho would notice that Ginny was suddenly more confident talking to Harry in Order of the Phoenix compared to being shy still in Goblet of Fire, and this might be a source of jealousy. I think girls are better at noticing these things than boys are.
I mean, I think both girls. I think Cho would have a problem with both.
I think you just have a problem with Cho.
I do.
And that's why Cho should replace Ginny forevermore.
Shut up.
Thanks again, and I hope you all have a happy new year in 2024. Thank you, Rolf.
Thanks, Ralph.
All right, our next email comes in from our friend Dane.
Howdy, Dane.
Howdy, y'all. Hope you had a great and happy Christmas. Mine was great. I had 2 weeks off of work and got to experience the madness of a house full of 5 nieces and nephews under 8 years old. Santa gifted me Hogwarts Legacy, so hopefully I'll start that soon and go do Wizarding World video game things for the first time in a long time.
Do it.
Speaking of Hogwarts Legacy, I believe my sister's fiance might be lending / giving me his Xbox
Oh,
with Hogwarts Legacy. So there is a chance I would be playing this game soon as well.
I am towards the end of my second playthrough with it. I'm actually playing a different game right now and loving it, but there was a point during the break that I had like 30 minutes and I had nothing to do in this 30 minutes. And I just sat down, turned on Hogwarts Legacy and flew around and it was wonderful. So still an amazing game. Love it. And everyone should play it.
We'll see.
Indeed.
Notes from last episode. I'm with Alex. Gift bags exist and work well. Oh, shame. Shame.
Nope.
I think it is an absolute madness that you use a specific wrapping paper for a certain person.
It makes it so much easier to pick up the presents and go.
When you gift to a lot of different people, I can understand the reasoning there. That makes sense.
They
But
all coordinate with each other.
I'm all for all the wrapping paper. I'm all for one wrapping paper for an entire family. Like I'm just all for wrapping.
Yeah.
Those bows
I remember
coming soon.
there was one Christmas my parents got wrapping paper with our names on it, like personalized wrapping paper. And so all of my gifts said Lauren on them, and all my brothers said Austin.
How did you feel about that?
I mean, it was easy to pick out our presents.
You don't seem like super happy about it, though.
I mean, I think that's taking it a little too far because they had to specifically order personalized wrapping paper, and I do feel that's what gift tags are for. But
Fair.
I don't know. My wife did all of the wrapping this year. I think this might be the first year since I was, a small child that I did not wrap a single present for Christmas.
oh
that's
wow,
sad.
even her presents? Did you wrap her presents?
We did an experience as gifts to each other, so we did not exchange gifts this year.
That's fair.
Yeah.
What experience did you give her?
We went to The Price is Right live.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, it was fun. It would have been more fun if we won money, which we didn't, but we still had a good time.
Did anyone get called down?
Yeah, lots of people did, just not us.
I just want to spin the big wheel. I want that opportunity. That and Plinko. My in-laws do that with the wrapping. And they have a bad habit of forgetting which paper goes to which person. Always leads to an interesting Christmas.
Well, you do have to keep it like somewhat coordinated.
Right. My strategy for the gift. I think there's a typo here. For the top 5 was a mix of Lauren and Alex. I was going purely off memory, then double checked off a decently compiled list. I tried my best to not go only for Harry gifts, but hard when he gets so many good ones. The Triwizard winnings is a good one, especially because it is treated originally as a literal throwaway thing that Harry does, but it comes back in a great way. Well, I somehow completely whiffed on brooms for Quidditch, but I think the Firebolt is a better one because it is from Sirius, albeit only after Prisoner of Azkaban is done does it matter more to Harry. So yeah, like that. You're gonna wait 6 months for it to have meaning? Please. That's weird. I think I like Alex's list the most, but you all did a pretty dang good job. For the Muggle poll, I think Molly's is the most consistent gift giver, but Hagrid probably is the best in terms of pure gift high points for Harry. In my fantasy football news, I, against all odds, won my family league as the lowest seed. Really tragic since my name is last place or bust. I did have a fantasy football update for everyone here at Tails, but alas, we did not do the news, so we're not going to be able to get to it. That's such a
Well,
shame.
I'll be sure to remind you next week. It's fine.
We will spend the proper amount of time on it next week if we remember. I am not a tattoo person, but the Dark Mark does look really cool visually, so I could see why people would want it.
I mean, yeah, it looks cool, but like the symbolism behind it is a bitter pill to swallow.
Yeah. I agree.
But I'm not the tattoo police. Do whatever you want.
If only you were, Alex. I think Fred and George read each other's minds, not as legilimens, but just that they are twins.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dumbledore is part D&D elf and can enter a twilight state that gives him all the full rest benefits while not being fully asleep.
Ooh, I buy it. Yep. Elves in D&D only need 4 hours of rest, and it's not actual sleep. It's just they go into a trance.
Weird. I think Dumbledore could put a magical portrait in the Dursleys' house. We saw them do it for the Muggle Prime Minister. Yes. See? I agree with y'all. Self-correcting ink works like autocorrect, not Chat GPT. I agree with Lauren. Barty would not join the drama club.
True.
The map would still say Tom Riddle. Even the map offends Voldemort. I think Arthur made the clock. He would add hands as each kid arrives. I also love the idea of Arthur at a flea market or estate sale losing his mind over Muggle items.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't think Barty's mom and Merope died from a broken heart / grief. Barty's mom was terminally ill and she was sent to prison. I think Merope might have, but also childbirth is a very traumatic experience and who knows where she gave birth.
Well, she gave birth at the orphanage.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. But there are no doctors. Oh no. Dumbledore is a big moviegoer. Why do I feel like he is somehow part of SAG-AFTRA and gets an Oscar vote? That would be some great headcanon about Dumbledore if it were true. To clarify, I was talking about the toy broom from Sirius. Two weeks later, I have no idea what that reference is. A lot has been happening in my life, Dane. I apologize.
Yeah, I usually re-listen to the episodes, and I try to do it like as close to recording time as possible so that it's like fresh in my mind. And when I got home today, I stopped right at the email section. So tomorrow, when I finish listening to it, then I'll know what he's talking about. But for now, I don't remember.
Thoughts this week. Casting the Harry Potter TV series. Here we go. Dumbledore. Ewan McGregor. McGonagall.
I thought about that.
Olivia Colman. Snape. Adam Driver.
Yep. You know, I really do think that WB just needs to go ahead and call him up, just get him in, be done with it.
Flitwick. Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, I
He's
wrote
on my
that
list.
down. Yeah.
See, I went with Warwick Davis again. Just run it
Oh,
back.
I'd be fine with that too.
Run it back. Spoiler for the Butterbeer Banter episode. Sprout, Tilda Swinton. Lupin, Andrew Garfield. Moody, Luke Evans. Quirrell, Jeremy Irons. Lockhart, Orlando Bloom. Vernon, Benedict Cumberbatch. Petunia, Claire Foy. Hagrid, Andy Serkis. Sirius, Tom Blythe. Wormtail, Christian Bale. Is it because they rhyme?
I don't think so.
Voldy, Ben Kingsley. James McAvoy. Lily, Keira Knightley. Ollivander, Anthony Hopkins. Nearly Headless Nick, Simon Pegg. Peeves, Sacha Baron Cohen. Lucius, Tom Hiddleston. Bellatrix, Florence Pugh. Molly, Emily Blunt. Too young. Arthur, Martin Freeman.
Yeah, that's another
way,
one that I think they should just call.
I didn't read any of these emails prior to doing my or actually prior to like legitimately right now. This is my first time reading the emails. I haven't even looked at them. So that's funny. If I am being 100% truthful, I am going to presume the actors from the latest Hunger Games are going to be in the series.
Okay.
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 What series? This series, the Hunger Games, are going to be in. Okay. Okay. Also, like all things in Hollywood, this is the time of Timothée Chalamet, so I presume he'll make an appearance. I hope it is mostly young and unknown actors, but I think they'll go with some bigger names for adults like the movies.
Yeah.
I also really hope we get some diverse cast. Like, I would enjoy seeing Idris Elba, Lupita Nyong'o, or others in the series. I think we will see that a little bit, yes.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
We did not get to the spell. We didn't get to anything, really. So forward that on with your next email. Ta-ta for now, Dane. Thank you, Dane. And then we do have one final email here coming in from our friend Jake Snape.
Hey, Jake.
Hey, Tales crew. Long time no email. I swapped positions at work last summer, so I didn't get the time I used to for listening to podcasts for a few months, which was a bummer. But recently have found a gap in duties so I can finally start to catch up. Seeing your tweet about the fan casting episode yesterday was a nice surprise, as I am currently delving into the same topic on my TikTok. The Snape Who Lived, by the way, if you want to go follow Jake Snape on TikTok. The Snape Who Lived. So far, I have the following. Dumbledore. Hugh Laurie. I see you. In the States, you'll probably know him best from House, but he's been in all manner of things over here. He has the wit and charm to really encapsulate Dumbledore, but most importantly, he has that twinkle beyond his eyes, as is often described in the books. Snape. Sam Riley. You may know him from Maleficent, and he has the right look and, more important, the right age for the book accurate Snape. I will have to look him up.
Yeah, I never saw Maleficent.
I did, but I have no idea who. It's been up forever.
Sirius. Ben Barnes. He's best known for the Narnia films, and he was also in Westworld. A really good actor who has the right look and, again, the right age. They also suggest Shadow and Bone. He played the big bad in that for 2 seasons. Really good in that. McGonagall, Michelle Gomez, a great Scottish actress who looks very much like McGonagall as described in the books. Hagrid, Mark Addy, best known internationally as Robert Baratheon from Game of Thrones. Hard to see anyone living up to Robbie Coltrane, but he has the right look. A great actor, too. Molly Weasley, Catherine Parkinson. Not sure if she's known in America, but is perfect for Molly. A brilliant actor who has the warmth and severity to nail the role. Arthur Weasley, Tom Goodman Hill. He has already starred as husband to Catherine Parkinson in Humans, and they had great chemistry. Not a household name, but he's a fantastic actor. That's all I have so far. Keep your eyes on my TikTok for more. Looking forward to hearing all your picks. Gryffindor out. Well, thank you, Jake, and thank you, everyone, for tuning into this episode, this marathon episode, as we begin to wrap up here. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, we want to hear from you. We want to hear not only your picks, but what you thought of our picks and whose picks you like more. We want to hear everything. So give us an email, talesfromgodric's@gmail.com. Let us know what you think, or hit us up on social media. We like that too. Now, we're basically done. That's it. We're here to say goodbye. But before that, if you like what we do, rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. Go leave us that 5 stars. Leave us a review. Rate us. Share it with a friend. All that good stuff gets us and our show out there in front of more people's eyes. And we very much appreciate it. So please, please go ahead and do that. Let's start the New Year's off properly. And again, if you haven't left us a review, please do so. That part definitely helps out a lot. Lauren, would you like to tell the people where they can find you?
Sure. You can find me on X and Instagram at Maeve_Cleric.
Very good. Alex, how about you?
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at AtariAlex. I tweeted yesterday the link to the full list of all 552 movies that I watched last year. If you want to give that a browse, I honestly don't know why you would, because like it's really only interesting to me. But if you want to, you can. And keep an eye out for whenever I do my list of my favorite movies that I watched this year. That'll be coming out sometime in the next couple weeks. I also want to make an announcement. This is a world first announcement.
Oh,
I am starting a new podcast with my friend Brandon. We did a podcast together many years ago before I moved to New York. We took a short break that turned into a permanent hiatus, but we're coming back. We're rebranding. We got some new ideas. So we're going to be talking mostly about like movies and TV and video games. So if you like the Potter Watch segment of this show, I think you'll really enjoy that show. So it's going to be called the Pop Culture Power Hour Podcast. I've submitted it to iTunes for review. So hopefully the episode 0 that I put up where we just kind of talk about our plans should be up in the next couple days. We're going to be recording our first episode this Thursday, which is the day that this episode will release. So hopefully all that goes according to plan. But just watch my Twitter, is where I'll be mostly talking about it. We have a dedicated podcast Twitter account. I think it's at PCPH podcast, at PCPH podcast. There might be an underscore in there. I don't know. I will get my pitch down better once I get into it. But I will be tweeting about it. I didn't tweet about it because I wanted it to be a surprise for this show, because I want everyone here to know about it. I'm very excited.
if you're gonna cheat on us properly.
I mean, you can look at it that way. I would look at it as me sacrificing even more of the little free time that I have to do more content creation. But, you know, I guess you could look at it that way too.
Alex, I am pro your happiness. So if this makes you happy, then we're behind you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Another podcast in the family of podcasts that has swarmed around the Tales community. Let's go. As for me, you can find me personally on Instagram or X at Custom Vinyl Lush. If you'd like to follow the show, you can do so by going to talesfromgodrixhollow.com. You can find us on Facebook or Instagram at Tales from Godric's Hollow. You can find us on X at Tales from GH. You can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/Tales from Godric's Hollow. Find us on Podchaser at podchaser.com/TFGH. You can find us now on TikTok at TFGH Show. And as always, with any and all of your emails, you can send them on over to talesfromgodrixhollow@gmail.com. As for next week, we'll be back in Major Moments now of Book 5, starting Order of the Phoenix. And we will start with Chapter 1, Dudley Demented. So get your emails in for that one. As always, we hope you all find some magic in the week ahead. And until next time, we're sorry,